There we go.
Hmm.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello. Is that to me too, or is that just everyone else?
I've already talked to you, so
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, are you re-saying hi to me? Are you the kind of double hi guy?
hi, guy.
Don't call me guy, pal.
Yeah, so welcome back, guys. It's time for some new information, and we're probably going to be doing more of this tomorrow because
I
tomorrow's Star Trek Day. Lots more new stuff coming tomorrow, I'm sure. But last week on Twitter, we got a little bit of a sneak peek of maybe a ship that might be coming to Picard season 2.
There's a story within a story. You're slightly out of focus,
Yeah, well,
but it might be worth putting some money on tonight, as we're wrapping down on what's going to come tomorrow, and like
maybe.
make some bets because it literally is like 18 hours till we'll find out.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
See how many we because we've never done that sort of reaction and then get that instant feedback. Do like a checklist of which we think is which, and then see who's a bit more right. And honestly, we'll probably agree on so many things. Just Team Trekyards is right on so many things until they reveal like, oh, this is what they're doing. Oh my god, what? You bring back every TG cast member in one episode? What? Shatner!
They're gonna redo. They're gonna do a proper Enterprise finale
Yep.
with the Enterprise crew.
And this time it'll be Janeway's whole novel. No, Chakotay, it's nonsense. Each time we do a new season, there'll be a new character going back and just. Okay, we shouldn't give them ideas, Stuart. We shouldn't give them ideas.
No, we should. We should give them good ideas.
But those weren't good ideas. Those were just ideas.
Yeah.
But yes, we do have a new ship. This is
We
what we're
do.
known for. I really want this to be a really big live, so hopefully you guys are gonna. Although you guys are obviously here, so I can't say you guys will hopefully jump in. You're already here, but hopefully you'll.
There's 111 people here already with 66
Mm.
likes. Guys, hit that like button. I want to get to 100 like
Mhm.
right away.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel's going to share this around in a minute and get more people in here. But yeah, we're excited to talk about this and the possibilities that it could mean for us.
And because unlike other YouTube channels that may or not look at this stuff, they'll just slap a picture on the screen, talk about it for a long time. If we can, caveat, we'll try and do graphics, and I have made some custom graphics today, comparing this with other things that are going to be relevant, we think, and some that are just interesting. So tune in for those after the initial discussion, because it always adds layers and texture, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So I will.
A lot of people
share.
have said they haven't seen this image on Twitter, and it's just they. Yeah, it was the back of one of the chairs.
We'll get into that after I share, Stuart. I'll do the share, you talk to the people, and we'll give the story.
Okay. Yes.
See you in a minute, Stuart. Bye bye.
All right. Yeah, so 142 people here now, 94 likes. Oh, we almost hit that 100 like right away. Good. 6 more likes to get to 100. If you haven't hit that like button, I'm aiming for 120 right now. Let's hit 120. But if you want to super chat, Sergeant Montgomery's already done so, and we do read all the super chats out on the air. So if you're able to, please consider doing so, and hopefully. You guys can help us out that way. You can also help us out via PayPal. There is a link, information in the description of every video. Just send your PayPal to trekyards@hotmail.com and just let us know in the regular chat that you've done that, and then we will read your comment or question via that as well. So lots of ways to help us out. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're new here, and click that bell notification icon to all. Very important. And by all means, check out the join button there beside the subscribe button as well. Click that. You can select your rank, and you can help us on a monthly basis that way. It's not very much a month for the different tiers, so check it out. See what works for you. If you're able to help us that way as well, it's good. Those channel memberships actually make a big difference, so if you can, please do. Also, another way to do that is Patreon/Trekyards. That's another monthly way to help us out, and we'd really appreciate that as well, because Patreon is also a super great way to be part of the community. So also down below there is a link to the TeePublic store with a lot of cool Trekyards merchandise, and the Teespring store. The Teespring store is our older one, the TeePublic store is the new one, but check those out as well if you want to get yourself some Trekyards shirts and things like that. We have some really great merchandise available there, so if you're able to, that would be awesome as well. So basically just share this around, hit that like button. We're almost at 120 likes already. 4 more likes to get to 120, guys. So hit that like button if you haven't. We have 170 people here now, so I'm upping the goal again from 120 likes to 150 likes, because a lot of people haven't hit it. So if you can, that would be awesome. And as always, it's appreciated. So once Sammy gets back, we'll have fun talking about this. And hopefully, if you guys have any ideas or thoughts, or you think we're idiots, by all means, let us know via Super Chat. We will read those out. Sylvie's got her hand up because she thinks that I'm an idiot. Just me or me and Samuel?
Both of you together.
Okay.
It's like the blind leading the blind.
He can't hear you yet, so that's okay.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, well. But anyway, 133 likes. Wow, we're almost at the 150. Come on, guys. 16 more to get to 150 now. We're at 134, and that is awesome. I don't know why Samuel's taking so long today. He's like staring off into the void. But yeah. And tomorrow is going to be super exciting because it is Star Trek Day. So a lot of panels, a lot of new information coming out, like the Prodigy release date, and like a few other things like a Strange New Worlds trailer or teaser. And who knows what else will be released, but we are looking forward and excited for that. We got a lot of super chats to get to. We'll get to those as soon as Samuel gets back. But yeah, there he is. He's back. We got a bunch of super chats in, so we're going to get to those, Samuel. Sergeant Montgomery puts in $5. Don't know who is going to get the last super chat, but I'll snag the first. There you go.
Now that is something you can guaranteed get. That's a really... Who's got the first super chat slot?
You can even get the super chat slot before you even start the live. So.
That's really funny. Well, good job. That's clever.
Question of Trek puts in €5. Good to see you guys.
Hey.
I'm excited to see the ship. Yeah, hopefully we see it in more pixels than you guys like to show your ships at in your game show. So.
How was that the Titan? You lied. Oh, I wasn't a shot from the show. It was a fan render.
Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Happy 7 of 9 day. Can't believe Jerry is 53.
Ooh.
Yeah, 7 of 9 day before the 8th. And then I guess you get another 7 of 9 day right afterwards. So there you go. Metallica fan 1442, £5. I hope we get a Strange New Worlds trailer of some type tomorrow. Do you think we will? Absolutely, I do.
I would give it a 9.6 chance out of 10.
Yeah. I'm also calling it now. We're going to get a Prodigy release date, which is going to be right after Lower Decks, I guarantee. Jonathan Davies, £5. If that's the ship in the background, I hope it's not the Stargazer. Well, we'll talk about that. We have some ideas about things, but yeah. Squadron Course, $2. Did somebody say new ship leak? Somebody did. Of course, we're all over that. Fry Minis puts in $5. Do you think Picard is a boxers or briefs kind of man? Maybe something fancier. I would say off the top of my head briefs, but something fancier maybe.
He's French. He wears briefs.
There you go.
Whatever it is.
And he wears like silky like boxer things sometimes in Star Trek.
Well, that's because he has no choice. They can't walk around naked. But he's French, man. Those people embrace the nude.
Gotcha.
They own their shit and they wear it proud.
Okay, you can talk now, Samuel.
Whatever it is, as his name tag at the back and like a Sewed in Enterprise logo, like having the picture of the ship because he's very proud.
Yeah.
He doesn't want the Delta underpants. He wants the ship underpants. Right.
Yeah, and somewhere on there's got the 1701D, just so people know in case they find just his briefs where they belong. So, just saying. Anyway, 157. You've already smashed the like goal, guys. We got 211 people here. Let's get another. Let's get up to 200. We can hit 200 likes easily, and keep the super chats coming. Those are great, guys.
So yeah, give the story, Stuart.
Yeah. So on Twitter last week, somebody posted that they finished or they're filming on season 2 of Picard, and they showed one of the backs of the chairs that had the Picard's logo that we all know, and then this behind it is a streaking starship, and a lot of people notified us about that, which is awesome. But yeah, I forget who actually posted it on Twitter, but it is still there, I think.
Well, it's a really interesting one because obviously I went in and researched this. I wanted to find the best quality picture of the original to get the most quality. That's like with the TOS that were the Enterprise sets, and there was a picture from a producer-director person saying we finished the show, but that was of a clapperboard, so it wasn't that picture. It was a separate picture reported by Trek Central, the Twitter account, which also posted articles very on with it, and they tend to even find like Instagram accounts of people that post things accidentally, like the Klingon season 1 Discovery. He shouldn't post it. Post it anyway. Boom, gone. But it's not attributed to anybody, the picture, nor is it have any other data except just the chair back in the picture. That one, and if you backward search it, there's only like 3 places that have had it, and 2 of the 3 have been taken down. So it has not spread. It has not been seen. We obviously have seen it, and these are places I noticed it, but not attributed. So I'm thoroughly confused in the sense of, well, it was leaked, but I'm thinking someone accidentally posted it, not realizing that it was taken down, and then obviously once it's out there sort of thing, and we were certainly keen to take it. But it's quite a reveal, because you don't tend to reveal ships this way.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like the Franken was in, or the Shinjo was in the original teaser for the season 1 Discovery. That was obviously very much like a, look, here's a wireframe. Think about it, look at it. But this is super. I mean, it's a great shot actually. I mean, I'll bring up the shot now because I've also got all the graphics. And it's a good, like, it's a well composed shot. But it's a very weird, like, very weird how it's come to be, because it's just like, well, that, and why has it not had more coverage and etc. Like,
Yeah.
Is that even the less arena? I don't know.
I'm excited to talk about it because there's definitely some great possibilities there. So, and hopefully you guys put in your thoughts as well. We want to hear your thoughts. That's why we're here. So if you can super chat, that's awesome. 170 likes though, 200 and almost 30 people here. Another 30 likes, guys, should be no problem at all. Let's smash that $200 or that $200. I wish that 200 like goal right away. Hit that like button, guys. Easy way to help us out.
So, do you have any thoughts on the basic design, or I have a pre-comment before the basic design? It depends what I want to jump to first.
Yeah, my immediate thought was, ooh, Stargazer, and I don't know if it's like a reimagined Stargazer or a flashback Stargazer or whatever, but that's like the simple thing to go to. But then you look at it, and it's not the Stargazer, which we'll have graphics for that, I'm sure. I know Samuel, the other thought that came to my mind instantly was the Baran. Maybe this is Lorca. Maybe Lorca shows up. Could you imagine? That'd be cool. I
mean, I hadn't even... I obviously have a picture of the Baran to compare. Didn't even occur to me for a second that it could be Mirror Lorca. Huh! I mean, it won't be. That's insane. But whoa.
Yeah.
That
would be kind of awesome. Come on now. Yeah.
Okay. So my first pre-comment, though, is the very nature of this picture. So it was on a cast and crew chairback, which are normally mass-produced for production. You normally have the production or, like, non-real names, so, like, Green Harvest, you know. You sometimes have fake names on the chairs. You always have a person, an actor name, that's where they sit, etc. So the fact that this picture is the branded logo on a chairback. I'm assuming it's a chairback, but I feel like that's a chairback. I mean, I don't think I'm going too far out. What else is it? It's just a bag. I mean, I think that's a chairback. If it's on an official chairback, then this implies it's incredibly important to the season, because that's one of the main visuals. If it's one of the most important visuals in the entire show, and it's a 4 nacelle ship in Star Trek Picard, to wit, in the teaser, had a very big Stargazer. Clearly, those simple inferences put together show that whatever happens, we're going to get a modern Stargazer, because it's not the original Stargazer design, it's clearly different, but a new Stargazer to push forward in some way or another, which is fun, and it's going to be important if it's on the damn chairbacks.
And it should be worth noting, too, that we have seen the Stargazer already in Picard. It was actually in his little memorial thing, his vault. There was the one that was from his ready room.
Which we've seen in person.
Which isn't, well, yeah. And we actually saw the Stargazer in the teaser trailer.
That's what I said.
Well.
Yeah, it was in the teaser trailer. It was very prominent. That's why we know Stargazer is a relevant thing. It's like, there's only 5 visuals in that thing, and like, here's a big Stargazer.
I just realized that it's like, oh, wow. Real revelation there.
Yeah, that's why it's all clearly Stargazer related. And even if it's just there's a new recommissioned Stargazer that they asked Picard to come back and like christen a la Generations, and then something happens, he's on that ship dealing with his problem. That's fun. Makes sense. No logic, no jump, and it's a nice way of giving the Picard show a bigger jump. Cool. Simple. And if that's the new Hero Federation ship, while the lesser into something else in the background, always completely ignored, that's also fine. Let's be honest. You know, that's cool with me, and you know, it's a cool way to have a almost an Enterprise.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
But for him, the character, to go all the way back to Stargazer, which is his first command, his first big ship, where actually he lost his captain, took command, then was in command, lost it. There's almost more emotional connection with that ship. Almost. They're very similar, actually. He's only ever commanded like 2-3 ships, so that's a third of his command lineage is on the legacy of the Stargazer.
Well, with this being like an alternate reality sort of deal, like, is this an alternate reality Stargazer, or what is the situation there? Like, there's a lot to, and then is it even the Stargazer? Just because it's 4 nacelles doesn't mean it's necessarily the Stargazer.
Star Trek Picard.
I know.
It's too logical.
And the teaser trailer did have it prominent on the desk and focused on the registry and everything. Like, yeah, I get it. But I don't know.
Well, because if it was on the post, like I said, if it was on this, it's not the Stargazer, then it's still a 4 nacelle hero ship of the show. I don't know why I wouldn't call it Stargazer. Now, alternate reality, though, that's a question of, are we going to get an evil Stargazer? Because the Stargazer is old in TNG, but you could argue it could be refitted for the era of Picard. I mean, that's a bit of an old one, but I mean, you can refit anything. I mean, the Enterprise was old, Stuart. It was either 20 or 40 years old, depending who you ask.
Yeah.
Which Admiral is right.
We got to fix that line. The Enterprise is 20 years old. We feel her days over. Actually, sir, it's 40 years old. 40 years old. We feel her days over.
Get the actor out of retirement just to read double lines. It's like, Stuart, why does that line sound? He's smoked for 40 years all of a sudden. Oh, because it was filmed 35, 40 years later. Now, if it's an alternate universe Stargazer, either an A refitted or just alternate variant, then same thing. He's coming against his PTSD, like with the Borg, but obviously more personal. Like, well, now I've got to fight a Stargazer. But I mean, you know, he also fought the Hathaway, and it's still looks like a Stargazer. I mean, if it isn't his Stargazer, why would it being a called a Stargazer really interfere too much? If it's refitted or whatever, you know, I wouldn't think it'd be that emotionally like, oh my god, it's called Stargazer, but in alternate reality it doesn't look the same. Okay.
Yeah. See, the thing is, too, about the Stargazer, I mean, if it is a new version of it, why would it be called Stargazer? Because, honestly, you see the Defiant used to be a Constitution-class ship, then became the Defiant. Ship names get swapped with other ships as needed. And I doubt very much that this would be the Stargazer A or the Stargazer B, because it's not one of those ships that earned that legacy, because that suffix number at the end of the registry is important. It's like the flagship obviously has it. Maybe a few others do, for whatever reason, like the Enterprise J we see in Discovery, or the Voyager J. Sorry, I don't know what I said there. I probably said Enterprise. Anyway, regardless, I don't think it would be the Stargazer A or B. And to just carry the name Stargazer over to another 4 nacelle design, which is this a new Constellation class? They're still calling it a Constellation class, or is it a different class now, but still the same look? Like, there's a lot of questions that come up with that, right? So,
yeah, I'll let you go back to Super Chats, obviously, and I'll jump back into that in a moment, because we've got a lot to discuss here, obviously.
Yes.
What do you guys think? Throw it in the chat right now. We'll jump in and see what you guys think.
And yes, Furious Fawn Super Chats. We see them. We sometimes can't get to them when we're discussing things, but we always read them, so just relax.
Well, you're here for the discussion.
Yeah.
So
we're jumping in
to
the Super Chats right now. Furious Fawns, $5. Samuel, read this out loud. I'm not going to read it. It's for you.
We've got a new ship. We have got a new ship.
You got a new ship? We got a new ship. There you go.
Canada made that famous for me. It was a thing I said with no sense of being a catchphrase, and Canada made it a goddamn catchphrase.
Well, he took one of our worst episodes for that, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, that was on Inner Space. We were featured on Inner Space twice. Anyway, moving on. Eugene puts in 500 rubles. I hope the show won't have the same level of detail as this picture. Right?
Well, it'd be quick CGI rendering if it was.
Yeah. Area 51, $2. Nacelles look Discovery era, I think. They do actually. They're kind of angled, funny. They look like a cross between the Shenzhou and the Discovery engines, honestly.
Well, if you remember how Johnny, I don't know if John designed this ship. We don't know anything yet with the ship.
We know Doug Drexler's working on the show, though. He has confirmed
But he's
that.
not a ship designer, really. He's he's everything, but that's not really his forte.
No, I know.
And I mean, everyone's multi-talented, but it's not really his forte per se. That rhymes. But to me, they look like John Eves' the Emmett Till, which we then never obviously seen in anything except one thing like 5 years ago. So that because he's tends to repeat his own thing. So if he's saying, "Oh, that's my future nacelle design," take it off that and put on that. Let me find a picture of that because they, to just thin down Enterprise D nacelles. They're not particularly inspiring.
Well, Not a Band Account puts in $2. This should be a Picard class ship. That'd be interesting. Maybe it's the USS Picard.
So you want him to go inside himself? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Foley class.
I mean, you always want to.
Shut up. Anywho, so 205 likes right now. That is amazing, guys. But 263 people here. So let's go for 250 now. Hit that like button. Let's get up to 250. That is your job. Challenge you to it. 45 people have to hit that like button because I know you all haven't done that yet. I'm looking at you, even you back there, and you on your phone.
Oh God, you on your phone? I mean, please. You need at least 5 minutes break from being on your phone to be on your phone to talk to us.
Right. Matt Borman says if this was rendered like this, I would be secretly avant-garde. It would be secretly avant-garde.
It's artistic, Stuart. It's artistic.
The Stargazer class, USS Picard, says Furious Fawns.
That just feels like the lazy Discovery. Look, it's the Voyager class. Okay.
Have you watched Picard?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're clever, but not so much. That's why when Star Trek Online did their version of like Janeway class, whatever, it was a good name. I don't know. Yeah, it was Janeway rather than Voyager class or Intrepid again. It was like yeah. Which I guess is therefore if you can't have Picard class, it's equally lazy. But it makes more sense.
Joe class, like stop naming shit after captains.
But it makes sense 800 years later, where they're like a legend rather than he's still literally alive and he was literally on the news 3 years ago and everyone hated him because of being like a cowardly war criminal man. And then he helped save the galaxy, but also died. It's like, I don't think you name a class after him, after all that stuff, So this is the Emmett Till, and certainly the nacelles, I mean, are very just like, just pointy, compressed E-like, with a E-like saucer. Is very straightforward as a design. And so those engines are, similar.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense for them to be consistent. If you're designing it,
to be fair, we're not working off a very super detailed picture, so.
Yeah, we're not.
Oh man. More cowbell. Yes. All right, so I'm looking forward to seeing your graphics, my friend.
My interesting. Like, this ship looks fine, as much as we can see. I'm intrigued by the arrangement, but even the way this is done, I tried several things earlier today of trying to, like, pull out the ship from the background to kind of get a clear view. But because the edges of the ship swap between black and white inside, so you can't just overlay everything with white because some is just white within a white. I tried doing a red, but it was really kind of ugly looking, and so I'm looking at it, and you can see, and it gets hard to sort of. So you see in the middle of the image, you can see the top pylons, but are they raised? Are they integrated? Is there negative space below them because there's a white space on either side? Is there kind of like cut out in the saucer like we've seen in other ships? Is that kind of up and out, and then the sector,
I really doubt there's any negative space there. It looks very bulked up.
But I can see it because the graphic is hard to determine in the middle. I could see that, and it'd be very interesting. Or is it very faithful Stargazer, which are all just connected? But then you look at the nacelles and the way the pylons work. Do the pylons make sense to connect to both of the nacelles, or is the pylon connected just to the top nacelle and top nacelle is connected to the bottom nacelle? Because I can see the pylons, but they're connected to the top.
Oh.
There isn't a middle. There's a top.
My guess would be looking at the picture that there's like 2 pairs of struts. Like, it doesn't look like they're. I don't know. I don't know what specifically you're saying there, but I mean, I've seen it.
Well, there's no. It's more the bottom half of the ship. You can see the pylon hitting the top nacelle, but there's not really any evidence of hitting a bottom nacelle. It's kind of negative space below, because otherwise the pylon's different spaces. Because you would surely see a second pylon flush with the bottom nacelle, but if there is anything, there's a black thing, but that's further forward. But it doesn't go as far as the other nacelle. Not that you can say pylons connected to 2 different things, but that'd be kind of interesting if the pylons are connected to the top nacelle and 2 nacelles are connected to each other. That'd be kind of interesting. That would change the vibe.
That would be amazing, but I don't think that's what we got here. I think this is one of those ones that from the front looks like the Baran, looks like an X-Wing fighter. Like a Star Trek X-Wing fighter. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
That's what I mean, is to even try and deconstruct this image actually to what really is there, detail-wise, is super difficult because it is not clear. If only they hadn't shifted their colours. But it's a fun artistic thing, it's not meant to be. Although I can imagine if you actually knew what it looked like, we'd be like, oh yeah, I see all the shapes. But obviously we can compare directly to ships, and I have done a comparative render with the Stargazer herself, the original, because it doesn't look like Stargazer at all, visually. It's just 4 nacelles connected to the saucer. That's the connection, but
it does have a Discovery-esque vibe to it, though.
It does. It really does. So here's the... Yeah.
But, hold on. Our president, Mark Lawrence, is here. He's puts in $5. So far, it looks like it's from Star Trek Online, and that's a good thing, as those designers are pretty good at the design language consistency.
Yep.
And Fry Minis puts in $5.
Thank you.
If you were offered a chance to cameo on a current Star Trek show, which would you pick? I could see y'all as Orion dancers in a seedy Ferengi club.
What?
We saw male Ferengi dancers in Discovery. That's a good question. Which show we would pick? Probably Strange New Worlds, honestly. Hard to say at this point, but.
And good luck, Robert. Best wishes to you and your family there. So here's a side by side, and I've tried to vaguely match the angle, even coming off the thing, and you know, elements of it. But instantly, I'm getting way more of a Sovereign vibe from the top. You can even see those out. You can almost kind of feel those outer parts of the saucer like slide down into that E-style slicey ring. What are your thoughts of this then, side by side?
It's actually much more different than I thought. I forgot how pushed back a lot of those elements were for the attachment points, which I like. I like the original Constellation class. But yeah, it definitely feels like Mark said, more Star Trek Online or more Discovery in its design process. So I don't know how I feel about that necessarily. I'm not a huge Discovery aesthetics fan, and we haven't really seen any new ships from Picard. The most we got was Children of Mars short. Well, the Children of Mars short, which had Discovery assets just sitting there.
Not even changed one iota.
Picard, I know. It has me worried, actually. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, this show is not rushed. They had an extra year of pre-production. Then, because of the pandemic, and then they were filming slower, so they've had way more time than most Trek shows would ever get to do. I mean, arguably this is the most prepared, and the fact they're filming 2 seasons back to back means they had to write both seasons back to back to have them ready to make sure all connects. I mean, can you imagine if they hadn't written 2 and 3 to make sure all connect? If they'd written 2, started filming 2, written 3, start filming 3, it's like, we really should have included that in season 2 filming. No, this should be the most clever season of Trek they've ever had. Never has there been. Maybe, I guess, Voyager and DS9 were at the same time, you can kind of connect them, but they obviously didn't. because they're 7,000 light years away.
Yeah.
But like I say, definitely not Stargazer-esque. But like I said, because of the connection to Picard, something to do with that makes sense. And it'd be very strange to have a random Discovery-esque fauna cell ship as the new hero ship.
Yeah.
Like, there isn't that many fauna cell designs anyway. Unless potentially, kind of visualizing the Star Trek Shattered Empire, what's the Shattered Mirror? The PS2 Xbox game.
Shattered Universe.
Thank you. I'm picturing that moment where they swap over and the ship changes. Maybe, and again, we don't know anything about the context of this alternate universe main plot. But would it be kind of fun if the moment happens and he's on the, USS Javran, alien name, and then suddenly, now he's suddenly in the captain's chair, captain's uniform, it's a Stargazer, and he's like, what happened here? And because, same physical ship, just, maybe in that alternate, darker universe, they can pick their own ship names, and so he's like, oh, the Stargazer, there! Which could be fun. So it's kind of a mid-season reveal of here it is.
That's interesting. Yeah, that would be kind of fun, actually.
Yeah. And it'd be a cheeky way of getting Stargazer in, but also not many ties to canon because you just swapped universes.
I like that.
Yeah.
And we know that there is an alternate kind of future vibe going on. So, yeah, absolutely. It does seem quite aggressive in its design as well. So that would work perfectly for that. Wow, I didn't realize there were so many differences. That being said, the Stargazer was an old design. That was motion picture era ship, so it'd be quite old at this point. And then, so yeah, this is obviously a predecessor or a successor. Sorry.
That's why it's not a Stargazer refit. It's a modern day build because this ship is 70, 80 years old, and I can see them not commissioning another Stargazer in between. So you're allowed to wait 80 years and commission a new one. I mean, I say that because Picard, it wasn't a new ship when he took it. Obviously, Picard's tenure wasn't, you know what I mean? It sounded a bit odd there saying 80, but...
Yeah, I don't think it's a refit either. People have been saying perhaps it's a refit. I disagree with that as well. I don't think they would just refit the old Stargazer because the Stargazer was essentially junk in TNG. They had to tow it back. I mean, maybe they did refit it, but I think if they did, it would have got destroyed during the Dominion War because it would have been one of the many ships added to the... arsenal.
Yeah, and even if it was refitted to look like this, if 93% of the pieces are replaced, it's not a refit. It's a replacement of the same thing. Plus, I can see them going for a larger ship because that's where modern Trek tends to go. Is bigger is better, and so Stargazer is not huge by any means. It's actually quite bulky, but it's not like an Ambassador Dwarfs happily, etc., etc. Guys. This is a great time. Super chat your thoughts on the design compared to the Stargazer. Do you have any thoughts? Do you like it? Well, there you go. I mean, let's do a poll. Do you like it? Dislike it? And please super chat your thoughts specifically as the new design.
And speaking of, we have 252 likes. We hit that 250 goal. You guys are doing awesome. But we have 283 people here. Most of them have probably come in lately and haven't hit that like button. So hit that like button. We had quite a few likes going into this live. So I think we can easily hit 280 right now. 280 likes. The ultimate goal actually is 300, but hit that like button, guys. Super important. Great way to help us out, and doesn't cost you a goddamn thing. Just saying.
Just a brief funny side note. I've started the Emmett Till concept art on my page, on my tabs, and one of the concepts John showed at Destination is literally the Zheng He. So he obviously designed it, the Zheng He, then and there, because I know he's designed stuff like that weekend. So that's funny. Didn't realise that. Oh, Harry Reader's designs.
SWTX Chaser throws in $5.
Thank you.
An esque Stargazer. Yeah. I'm voting for the Baran. I want the Baran to come through and the Prime Lorca to show up in Picard's time. He got thrown forward in the future, and we get Prime Lorca back. I'm all for that because I like Lorca.
Now, would the first scene be view screen and whoever captain, think of it like Bateman in TNG, but instead of whatever have they said it, the captain of the TNG era ship that says hi, he says, "What the hell is your uniform? Where are you from, Starfleet? What? That's a shit uniform. Would that be the first thing, Stuart?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Absolutely. Mark Lawrence, though, throws in $5. I'm hoping I see that saucer section right looks Sovereign era-ish. Yes, it does.
The problem with that, though, and Johnny certainly keeps using the Sovereign-esque design, is that we had Akira, Saber, Steamrunner, Norway, Prometheus, Intrepid. They're all the Sovereign era. Why is every ship a Sovereign-style saucer? As in, of his designs and people have done things. Like, it's only one version of most designs, and most ships aren't battleships. That's why everything have a... You know what I mean? Why are no things pointed like Prometheus or Nova-like? You know, they're all, give or take, the same era, especially the First Contact fleet. They're all new. You know, why is there no Saber class whatever's with a weird... You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Could it be two ships, one flying over top of another? No. I don't think so.
Why would that be the poster art on a back of a cast chair? It's an interesting thought, but
that's the context.
Because this isn't meant to be seen by people. You know, this is a super in-house thing where people have read the script, they've seen previews, they know what the ship is. Like, yeah, that's Picard's new ship. You know, or even it's like the ship they're using on set of that ship.
If it had been as part of a special effects sequence where we kind of get this blurry image of this, I could see maybe another ship underneath, and they're trying to, deceive us a bit. But on this, absolutely not. No. Jonathan Davies puts in £2. It was built in Bedford Falls.
Is that a reference to my town? I'm confused.
No, Bedford Falls, I think, is from It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know what it's referring to. Bedford Falls.
But thank you.
Yes, thank you. Tigorganium, €5. I like it. Looks like an evolution of the Sovereign class with M-wing quad nacelles. Maybe a dreadnought type ship.
Oh dear.
Ooh. Gotta love the dreadnoughts. An Unexpected Bagel puts in $5. Misheard Sam, Ambassador Wharfit instead of Ambassador class dwarfs it.
Yeah, language. But
Shannon Nash
puts
in $5. The ship looks like a mix between the Jaeger and the Section 31 Ford nacelle battlecruiser with Baran struts. I don't know what to think yet.
Oh, yeah, that damn ship.
Why'd you have to say that?
Oh, man.
Hey, we hit 284 likes. We hit our 280 goal. Okay, 300's the goal now, guys. Only 16 more likes to get there. 16 of you haven't hit like. Hit the like button. Matthew DeFreitas, $2. Alternate universe version of La Serena, maybe.
Makes no sense.
Makes absolutely no sense.
Who wants to see my fancy graphic? Super chat now. Who wants to be like Super said the first? Super chat first and super chat last. Who wants to be the super chat that gets the graphic? Even if you say me, any amount.
Caleb Horn came in right before you said that, so he didn't get it. But $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Caleb. Seems to kit bash a Walker, Europa, and Corella class together into a Frankenstein design. Wouldn't be the first time the weird mud ship. Happy to be proven wrong if a trailer drops with the ship.
Vibe-wise, he's 100% right. It is certainly... But a lot of the best track ships are kit bashy, as in, like, aesthetics of pieces of, but then you should not encourage Discovery elements being brought into anything after Discovery. Or even during Discovery, or even before Discovery, or even in Discovery.
Squadron Course, $2. Do you like it more than the Protostar? Absolutely not. I think the Protostar is a great design.
Well, this feels like a more comfortable design, more logical, but we're also only seeing the a detailed silhouette. Whereas that we know every single view pretty much. I don't think this would look that good in fast motion. Like, I hope this is a capital ship, and so we see it have a weight to it. You don't see Enterprise D or E flying with massive oomph. So I'm hoping it'll be with a bit of weight to it.
Blue 5 puts in £10.
Boom.
Thank you so much. Hey lads, thanks for your efforts. Do you expect phasers and torpedoes to be similar to Nemesis or First Contact, or do you think we'll see more up-to-date beam effects like we saw on Discovery, Disco Enterprise? Mix of both. It's going to be take the Nemesis First Contact style and upgrade it a bit. I would hope. I don't want to see something new. That's for sure.
And like I said, super chat if you guys want to see the fancy graphic. $1 saying me is all it takes. I mean, I'm trying to think what the Discovery used. I mean, we saw when the Enterprise was in Season 2, it had a very familiar effects. In Season 1, they had a little pulse, little weedy, pathetic little, like, and they didn't mean anything. Torpedoes looked relatively similar. In Picard, we saw the brief battle with Serena and Romulan ship, and they used relatively conventional phasers, very tiny, but they were very small ships, so that's hard to justify. Lower decks, they have conventional phasers, and since that was the last thing we saw, technically that's the current last thing, but there's not much justification for anything different. I mean, Quantum's last until the 31st century, so I guess, yeah, normal stuff should be there. Normal stuff.
Marco Van Osh puts in €5.
Thank you.
Not sure about the design yet, but more exciting as a hero ship than La Serena, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely more Star Trek.
Which is unfortunate, because that ship did what it was meant to do. It's just poorly explained what it was meant to do. It was meant to be not a Starfleet, not a Federation design. Right? So, what am I meant to get from that? It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Yeah.
Zarvin 420 puts in £5.
Thank you.
Hey, is it me or does the hull look like the ship from Season 1, then a saucer slotted underneath? What? I mean, it looks a little bit like the Intrepid class from Enterprise with a saucer slapped on the bottom of it, I guess. But I don't know which ship you're speaking of specifically.
Although, I don't know if he was meaning this, but look at the top view of the ship. Remove the actual saucer and just use that pointed bit, and take out the bottom two nacelles. That's like Section 31 ship from Discovery. That pointed with the nacelles being pointed where they are. It's extremely
much.
It's extremely close.
Ken Denning.
Ryan
Denning, yes. Actually, I see the Intrepid class from Enterprise, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
The saucer.
Yeah. But, no, very much so.
Fry Minis puts in $2. Could Neo from the Matrix beat the Enterprise E in a fight? Yes, sure.
I mean,
why not?
He would just fly through the shields, into the warp core, punch the warp core, explode, and yeah. Like, dude, it's the Matrix. He's God in the Matrix. He sees the code. He could pull the binaural circuitry out of the walls, and then pump its heart, and then restart the... Oh, he'd be great on Voyager, wouldn't he? Just putting his hand into the binaurals and just make it pump again, like Trinity. Just, oh, you're awake, binaural. You're awake. All right, yes. Well, no one's actually asking... It's pure super chat, but no one's actually asked for the graphics. I'll throw it out anyway. So this is the fancy one. This includes all the stuff of the last few eras that it so looks like. I'm quite pleased with this graphic. We've got the Bran, the Nimitz, and the Stargazer. I try to mimic them, and I mean, very Baran-like when you do this, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
There's even subtle beats that... I mean, you guys, this is the big graphic. Tell us what you think. Stuart, what do you think when you're seeing it?
Yeah, it's what I feared, actually. It feels more like the Baran design, which is very Discovery style, obviously, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I want to see what the whole text stream's like. If the whole text stream, that could be a big thing.
If it's copper, or if it's just platey, like every goddamn ship in Discovery is just platey. Stop being just platey. Have logic, have thought behind it. I mean, yes, you've got Aztec in its basic thought, but compared to Voyager Enterprise Z, they look so good painted. These just do not. Even the Stargazer looks nice and clean and fine. These look dirty in comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, more detailed, but dirtier. It's the wrong sort of detail. It's very weird.
Yeah. Ian Brennan puts in $5 and says, I don't know, it kind of looks like a Sovereign meets a Constellation.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's been covered. Yeah, it's kind of been talked about already, Ian, but thank you. Not a band account, $2. In the new alt universe, we should see Lieutenant.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And that'd be a nice payoff.
We're not going.
Oh no, see, that'd be a great payoff for because if Stuart, there was a 3-year plan, right, and they're sticking to it in some form way, then killing each other in season 1, bringing him back for 7 to deal with, that would be a fun horror, like dealing with the person you killed. That's good character development. and then maybe just like Kim to bring him over from that universe. I mean, that could be a fun thing to do. Be sad way to use a character just to kill him off so they have pain from the character. But that could be kind of cool, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
But then we want Mano enter Amy, not no offense, new guy, just Mano. He's great.
Yeah, it's definitely got that. I mean, it doesn't look like the Nimitz at all, which is good. But the Nimitz or the Europa?
It's the Nimitz class, but it's the Europa.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's what the folder said anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited to see it, obviously, in the show. Like, we do need a good hero ship that's Starfleet, because that's one thing season 1 was severely lacking. And I don't know if it's just for season 2, if it's just for an alternate reality thing, what's going on with season 3, who knows? But the Discovery look is kind of bugging me. Let's be fair. David Williams, £2. Ideas on the pointy bit at the back of the ship. The pointy bit.
Yeah, the bottom piece, because you can see 4 nacelles and there's a bottom piece. A 5th nacelle on the bottom, which would be certainly unprecedented. It'd be a reverse dreadnought. Or to be fair though, if it's like a Oberth style pod, that could be interesting. Shove that at the bottom, make it more functional. Be weird. I mean, it doesn't look.
It could also literally just be like a abstract black streak to break up the white streak a little bit, and it's not actually there.
Well, that's the single impulse drive, and it's pushing back. I mean, if it had a Oberth pod that was sort of stuck in the hull with a big deflector, that certainly would look elegant, but depending on what the function of the ship is, it could look quite interesting. But I definitely am seeing Discovery meets Emmett Till nacelles here, which it feels like all of the new ships are all gonna, or Zhenhe. I mean that they're also the same sort of thing. It's just thinner, pointy nacelles. And because the Shinjo has thinner, pointy nacelles, as the Zhenhe, just one has glow bits, one has glowy line slits. There's so little difference in the grand scheme. Let me find pictures of the Zhenhe as well.
Did you say you said reverse dreadnought, didn't you?
By being on the bottom, yeah.
Area 51 says reverse dreadnought. Sounds like a sex position. Actually, it does. So, moving on.
I did not.
SWTX Chaser puts in $2. USS Baran under Captain Lorca, Commander Kim, and Lieutenant Icheb. 314 likes right now, though, guys. With 273 of you here, that is amazing. I want to get to 320 now. I keep getting greedy for the likes. So 6 more likes, because I think 6 of you have not hit likes. So please do that.
Are you a cheeky facker?
I am a cheeky facker.
There we go. And I'll be honest, these do look a lot like the Zhenhe nacelles. I didn't consider getting that. I mean, I only had a certain amount of time. I think I did quite well continue. Let me see if I can chuck that one in. Because if that is the most modern ship, why wouldn't you give all of your ships that are able to be refitted the strongest, most powerful ships to shells?
Marco Vanosh says, I hope some of these questions will be answered on Star Trek Day. I'm sure they will. You might even see the ship in one of the trailers or previews or teasers for Picard Season 2. Who knows?
Well, especially if they obviously know that there was a big fan, not backlash, but note that we didn't get any. Yeah, we didn't get any Federation ships of worth. Like this is fine.
Yeah, they are very. Those nacelles are very much alike.
And so having an actual hero ship with thought and effort and time put in. I mean, as soon as fans see the actual design, be like, oh wow, it's textured with physical detail. Much better than Zhenhe, which there's reasons for that, obviously, but you should have planned better. So there's the current modern ship. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oliver Lavery Farag puts in £5.
Thank you.
Says each ship can come back and tell us about the Black Mountain.
Well, I met
No, he can't because he didn't see it. He was missing an eye.
Oh.
Blue 5 puts in
Too soon.
Blue 5 puts in £5. I think the lighting will be key. The hull not being painted is a big deal for me, but I hope the nacelles are well lit, antimatter, warp glow, etc. Yes, please have the proper glows on this thing. Yes. Almost at 330 likes. One more like, guys.
Amazing. But definitely, I even see some of the neck raised detailing. Those slight back pontoons meeting up. Although I hope it doesn't have a front shuttle bay, because I don't like that particularly as a... Even the Stargazer does, it's just integrated better. But yeah, definitely this sort of nacelle. You can even kind of see the front tips and the back slits. Even
front tips and the back slits. That sounds really...
Well,
if you slurred that,
well,
that wouldn't sound good.
Well, I'm talking about a spaceship, Stuart.
I know, but they're sexy ladies. Damp on nacelles.
Although, isn't it weird how looking at the paint job, the ships on the two left and the top look so similar?
Mm-hmm.
And even though they're how many hundred years apart? One just looks like a blocky version of the other. Super similar.
Super similar. Barely a coincidence.
Oh! You did that? Well done. That's good. No,
Kyle
if you want. No! No! No!
Kyle Wong puts in £4.50. The bit in the middle looks like a tick.
What?
Maybe you didn't mean tick. Maybe you meant a D word, but they wouldn't allow him to use it.
Do you see?
I don't know.
Do you see two impulse crystals? There's two circle white details, sort of the middle of the hull. There's two glowing.
I do see two impulse crystals. I thought that when I first saw the image for sure.
Because if there's negative space, I might just Photoshop this. Because I would not be against some negative space there, because it's there's multiple ships have had that aesthetic. But this aesthetic, not normal aesthetic. Let me do a little photoshopping, because it's so hard to see. Let me kind of pitch what I'm seeing here, or a possibility of that anyway. And have we done the poll yet of like, dislike? Yeah, Stuart and fans in the chat right now, and obviously we've got this big BS graphic now of the new ship. Let's call it the Stargazer A refit, B, C, D, E, F, S. Do you like this ship? Do you not like this ship? Or are you so undecided you're going to give it a hardcore meh? Tell us.
So like, dislike, or meh is the... And Mark Little throws in £5 and says, could it be upside down? No. If you see the picture of the chair, there's no way they would do that.
Usually
So
no, but no.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just do some photoshopping.
Actually, for the bottom of a ship, that'd be kind of cool, actually. But no, unfortunately.
You've said that a couple of times.
So we've got a dislike, we got a like, we got a like, we got a like, we got a meh, we got a like, meh, 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 like, meh, meh. Dislike looks like Star Trek Discovery. Doesn't look right. Kind of agree, Thomas. Like, provisional like, meh. I like it, but we need to see more detail. Absolutely agree. I see Scout Guy. Meh so far. Meh. It's meh for now. Like with caution. Cautiously optimistic. I like it. I like it.
It's a modicum.
Don't like it. I don't like it. Too Discovery design. Compared to La Serena, like. Yes. Yes. Like. Nebula of 1701 puts in $5 and says, I like it, with a smile and a winky face. So that's cool. Wow, like, retake on the Gazer. Meh, like it. Like, big like. Depends on the paint job. It's okay for Discovery. Okay, I guess. Meh. So hardcore mez, though. Yeah, lots of mez.
And this is the problem when you don't go outside the mold. But also, if we know you're trying to be inside the mold of Trekdom again, then not knowing the details is hard work. It's just like, well, do I like it or not? I can't tell yet. There's not enough details for it.
We're almost at 350 likes, though, guys. We got 349.
Fantastic.
Hit that like button if you haven't. Let's see how high we can get. I really don't have any goals in mind at this point. We hit 350, which is great now.
The goals is all of the goals.
So 375 is the next logical goal. So,
Beautiful.
Come on, guys. Hit it.
See, I'm doing a slight Photoshop here to kind of show you what I was thinking. But like I say, it's tricky with the Although now I'm just designing. See, now it's just Star Trek Online show. I even recognise it. Which is, but the thing is, if they've designed like 5,000 ships, I mean, that's going to happen, isn't it? But is it a bad thing to just use Star Trek Online designs and just tweak them a bit? It's absolutely exactly. I agree.
Nebula 1701. I'm reminded of the PS2 game ships and some Star Trek Legacy designs.
Okay. I'm almost done. I'm just trying to. I want to give it out. I'm redesigning it slightly, but just to kind of give it some outline so you can kind of see what I'm thinking of properly. Just give me another minute. So, what was the consensus then? Like versus dislike? What was the general?
It was very meh heavy. Likes and dislikes were sort of on that 50-50 kind of split.
Okay.
But very meh. It's very cautiously optimistic mehs in there, I think.
Yeah.
Yo mama says it's nothing to sneeze at. Ha, that's funny. Because Sylvia just sneezed.
And like I said, the fact that's on the chair, like, going to be an important part. And that in itself is exciting. Starfleet didn't just get the short end of the stick in season 1, they were villains in a sense. All member worlds coming out of the, not doing all the politics stuff and just wasn't so good, Stuart. Wasn't so good.
Kind of says to me, it looks like the bottom of a ship, not a top. Yep, it does, but it's definitely the top of the ship.
Well, but it can look nice. The Shepard class works well in that. It being a better version of the Shinjo, even though it's just a Shinjo upside down. Give or take. Give or take.
Yeah.
Not quite that exactly, but... Okay,
Tekatron says if it was in Star Trek Online, I might fly it. Well, it will be in Star Trek Online, I'm sure, at some point. So there you go.
They would not talk, and they would not... And it'll fit better, because the future stuff they've kind of like, yes, and now our Star Trek Online universe has mega future ships. Why? Shut up. You can buy them.
Matt Boardman says, I say it's probably one of those things that once you see it, people will be happy, especially given the lack of Starfleet that we got in season 1.
I mean, it's a familiar enough design. Like, if the paint, like I said, if the paint job is bad, if it looks like a Discovery ship, then that's a problem. If it looks like
painted purple with pink polka dots.
Well, yeah. And Aztecing ain't that difficult. I mean, we do it all the time for fan designs. You just mimic the Enterprise D, Voyager, and E and make a combination. That's the aesthetic, and you sort of use that. You give it escape pods, you give it the phaser strips, you say, Rick Sternbach, what are the 63 basic things you need to have, and you do that checklist. So, no, seriously, you have all those things, because then the ship has its functional things. When you don't have them, it's like, well, how does the Genhe fire phases? Okay, it doesn't. Or how does it transport? Okay, it doesn't. And yes, you can argue it's new tech, but when you've had those things for 90, 100 years, why is it all of a sudden being updated because they can't be bothered to design them in? It's like, well, it's a bit of a lazy excuse.
Aaron Standing says, nacelles remind me of X-Wing lasers, but backwards. And now that you've said that, yes, I see that 100%. Nebula 1701 puts in $5. Take a close look at the back midsection. What looks like another nacelle might be a tattle of a secondary, or I think a tail of a secondary hull. It's too narrow for that. I honestly think that's nothing. That's just like negative space seen through the swoosh. That's my thoughts on that. Because it's very abstract the way it's done. So,
or it could be a mission pod that's specifically designed and it's kind of a cool bonus. All right, I've done a Photoshoppy thing. This is something I see in the design. If you interpolate some of the black and whiteness. And add some colour, because that really helps. So this is and obviously it's still got the old ones to sort of compare. And that's something I see could be in the design, and could be interesting, have that sort of half negative space in the saucer, those two impulse crystals, the 4 nacelles. And that's what I mean about having the pylons that go up.
Before I comment on that,
sure.
Noob Slayer says, are you again making an hour-long analysis of a ship someone designed in 5 minutes? God, I hope I'm wrong. Yes, because that's what we do, because people love it, and people love Starship design. So You don't like it? Please just find your way out of here.
He's being funny and whatever. No,
I don't think it's funny.
Oh, no, this one feels more designed, even though it's just kitbash designed.
Yeah, see, I like the way that you got that negative space there at the back of the saucer with the impulse engines. That's cool, actually. I don't think that's the case, though. I think that saucer probably goes all the way straight through to that center part, but it does look better with color. I will say that 100%.
Once I've cleaned up a little bit to kind of work out the shapes. So we give it... I mean, it does... I mean, you put it next to the Bran. I mean, that is even more than Bran. But that's the thing, though. The Bran is canon, and designs ape each other. And so if they're making a $23.99 Bran, I mean, they did good ones in Star Trek Online. Very, very good ones. Very, very good ones. So it's a fine concept. You know, circle saucer, big bold nacelles and pylons. So less stargazery that way, but you know, that's certainly possible, and it would look kind of cool, and it would fit the E nacelle, the E saucer vibe nicely with that sort of clout curve. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know what you think of his take on that. Nebula 1701 though throws in $5 because I'm silly. I'm sharing my email signature. In Star Trek canon, is what people argue exists on ships that don't exist. Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
And Fun Will Not Comment says Trekyards exactly. A lot of us love the analysis. Thank you. That's why we do it.
Yeah, because you guys.
We would do it to just him and I having a discussion if we didn't have a platform to share it with you guys. We just love doing that. So,
I mean, you know, if we lived in this, if we were literally like neighbors, lucky neighbors, I would be like, Stuart. Yeah, Samuel. I printed out.
We got a new ship. We got a new ship.
Yeah.
I want us to talk about it.
Do you want to come around at 6 and put it on the TV and just I'll give you a beer and we just talk about it for 40 minutes and you're like, yes. And then 2 hours later we're talking about it for 2 hours. And then your wife's like, Stuart, I'm busy talking about a new Star Trek Picard ship leak. Sorry. That is what would happen? Maybe. But the fact is...
And Noob Slayer, I guess I owe him an apology because he said, I love analysis too. I just wish CBS put more effort into designs. Trekyards is the best. Well, thank you. Sorry for calling you out there, but...
And they do put effort in. It's just... Effort is such a strange word because if the producer says we don't want a looking Klingon design and yet you spend 6 months designing a non-Klingon looking Klingon ship, he's put effort in, right? The brief was just terrible. If John Eves is told no cylindrical nacelles, flat ships, he's going to a brief. He's putting all the effort in the world, you know. Even though you could argue there's no effort put in. If the brief on this ship was make a futuristic stargazer, but use Jen Hay nacelles, you know, it's like, well, you know, is it when it feels like no effort, that's tricky. But also time constraint does mean there might be limited hours put in, which does mean literally limited effort because there's limited time to put it in, you know.
Yeah, well, it already seems like they're putting more effort in season 2, even just by having Doug Drexler on board with things like they're pulling in some of the older people, which they totally avoided for season 1, especially of Discovery and stuff. They didn't want any of the legacy people there. Sure, John Eves always finds a way to sneak in, which is great. But you know,
but look at his designs. I mean, speaks for themselves right there.
Yeah. I think that's a step in the right direction for them. They realize that. Yeah, like people like Doug Drexler, and they have a lot to contribute.
Well, it's like you need a Star Trek spell checker. You know, someone delivers you concept art for a ship, and there's a spell checker saying, in that era you wouldn't have nacelles like that. In that era you wouldn't have basals like that. In that era, and you just give them a list of tweak these things because you've designed outside too far outside the box doesn't make sense. Although that said, Doug would have no weapons, and you know he would do really weird things. So he's not necessarily the best fact checker for ship design language. Like Rick would be better because he designed the book after Andrew designed the book, like he would fight them. But it's like, you know, you need someone to go through and look and not be the producer, because for Discovery it was Brian Fuller who was the final say on every single ship design. And there you go. And of course the visual effects team decided to change things after the fact, Like the bridge on the Europa down there in the middle was originally where it should be, and was moved to the top pod for no discernible reason because the visual effects team thought it looked better. There's a torpedo launcher there, like a Miranda, etc. So,
well, it's the Nimitz class. It's more like an aircraft carrier, so it's got to be up in the conning tower. That's where the bridge is. So of course they wanted to move it up there because they were thinking of an aircraft carrier, not a starship.
but it's a bit dodgy to change a pre-approved ship that's already like good to go. At least get approval. You know, it's like the Enterprise. The gall to change the struts on the Enterprise after the ship was approved by everybody involved because they thought it looked better. The visual effects team. It's not their job to change designs. They might have been designers, and they might have great ideas. Take it through proper channels. But for Johnny to look at the show and see his Enterprise for the first time, put months of time or weeks of time into, well, that's not what I designed. How pissed off would you be? You know.
Oh, I'd be livid.
Well, there's a fan film I won't mention that I worked on that released visual effects, and they did a really terrible color grade too that absolutely destroyed a lot of my work. I'm pissed about that because they chose to do something, and I think it was a terrible choice. And it damages a lot because I carefully color grade, carefully level things, and it's just like, what? These things aren't designed to go that way, etc. So I had no final say, and because of that, my artistic vision got corrupted beyond recognition. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, it would piss me off too, to be honest. So, going back to that though, it's better that they're bringing on people that have been associated with Trek before and really cared about it. Like the team that was carried on through TNG, DS9, Voyager, and even in Enterprise, loved all that stuff, and they tried very hard to keep things the way they were supposed to be. Like Michael and Denise Okuda, they've fought for a lot of things. And
well, they'd be the Okuda pass. They just say, these things are wrong. Take another pass at the script, and that was just part of day to day.
Yeah,
it was no big thing, Epicure's fan says, I honestly don't know people dorked out on uniforms and ships as much as me. So I was glad I found you guys. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Indeed.
Welcome.
Yes.
Here with your people.
Yeah.
So 249 people here, 376 likes. We hit that 375. Awesome. Now the next goal is in sight, guys, and that's 400. If you haven't hit the like button, let's try to get to 400. Be one of the heroes that takes us to 400 likes. Do it.
So I have a sort of question then. Let's work out the consensus of the fans here.
Mm-hmm.
And also your most important one here. I don't know, I'm laughing so much at that. Is this a prime ship that will be in the scenes before the alternate universe swap? Or is this specifically been sort of designed for the alternate universe present stuff, which gives them a lot more creative freedom, and it can look like whatever it wants to at that point? Sky's the limit. Is it the prime original version, which will then be swapped out, or is it exclusive to the alternate universe? Kind of like Worf's Regent Battlecruiser from DS9. Like they've got the big version and the normal versions. Thoughts, Stuart?
I know what I'm hoping for. I know what I'm hoping for. I want it to be prime. I want them to be on the Stargazer or a ship like it for some reason going somewhere. Something happens, and then alternate reality. Maybe it's a slightly different design. Maybe this is the prime version. Maybe the one from the is just slightly different, or maybe it's the vice versa. Maybe they're on an older version of like a Stargazer type ship, and then when they get upgraded when they go to this alternate reality. But my bet is it's going to be only the alternate reality ship. That's what I'm betting on. But my hope is that it's going to be at least prime. So.
Well, a brief comment by Brad. Is it sad that he sat in a captain's chair while watching this video?
No, absolutely not. If I had my captain's chair here, I'd be sitting in it for sure.
With seat warmers. For the cold days, anyway.
That's what never mind.
Actually, would you say it was super light and you just move the captain's chair? Would you sit outside on your bed, on your what do you call it, the outside bit where you can sit?
The deck.
There you go, sit on your deck while it was snowing, but the captain's chair was like fully heated, and do live from there. Would that be comfortable enough for
No,
you?
because it would ruin the captain's chair.
Well, assuming it was made of really cool materials, like it'll
Yes,
survive.
I would do it.
Okay.
Yes.
That'd look really cool.
But yeah, I generally around here we call seat warmers Orions. Orion ladies.
Wouldn't you be the
Never
seat
mind.
warmer in that equation?
Well, she keeps the seat warm when you come and sit down. It's
Oh,
warm.
well, that's not as fun as. Anyway,
And they become lap warmers. I'm talking too much. I'm just gonna stop. We hit 400 likes, which is
Ooh.
great.
oh, that is good. Well, Dave says just a random ship, no connection to the events of the series. But then, Dave, why is it on the official cast and crew backing of a chair that all the actors sit in on
In
set?
front of the Picard logo.
Literally zooming. I mean, let's go back to the picture. It's literally is the thing that's dragging the Picard logo. Like, you can't get any more central than that. That is like definitive. Like that I would assume might even be a poster at some point, but the real ship, because of how that's framed, you know, Picard is being, you know, pulled along in the warp trail of the ship, you know.
Yeah, it's clearly like a new hero ship of some sort. So,
But I think a lot of them are saying alternate, which is fair. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's going to be alternate. It's not my hope, but I think that's what we can expect. So, George Mangrum though throws in $5. What ship did John Luke serve on with Raffi? I will not call him JL because that's just stupid. Maybe it's that ship. It's not that ship. He served on. That was a Odyssey class ship, which we saw in the comics. So the countdown.
The
comics.
Verity.
Yeah. Thank you. Couldn't remember the name.
Yes, I do have my what I'm hopeful for most that is practical, but who on earth knows? I'm hoping they're taking the Star Trek Renegades fan film approach. I said this last year as well, and then was soon disappointed. That there's Picard's ship, which will be less arena or some variant of. If they go alternate universe and that gets shifted to a warship, whatever. And there'll be the Federation branch chasing them, working with them, following them. And so you get best of those both worlds of ship designs. That's the hero Federation ship of the thing. I don't necessarily think Picard will serve on it. That'd be awesome. See Admiral Picard back in service, commanding the ship or working with the captain. Maybe a captain we've seen before. Maybe, you know, a Shelby. You know, a captain from the past would be great. I wouldn't hold my breath on that, though. But just having it be, you know, and if in the alternate universe, just like Renegades, if he's on his less arena, and he's a renegade in this universe, and he's being chased by this Federation starship because he's now not part of the Galactic Order, I believe it was of Gods and Men name, that would be fun. Gets chased by his old Starfleet in, you know, it happens to be a Stargazer, whatever. You know, I mean, in that universe, maybe Stargazer B, you know, because then it's again alternate universe rules.
Mm-hmm.
So really, that I think makes super logic. But to have just to kick out Lesserino entirely, have him serve on it, or use it as a primary would be great. But they've got such a big set for Lesserino, it'd have to be used massively, because it's a big... I mean, it's not a detail set in the abstract, like it's a big open space with lots of lighting, you know, it's not detailed. But it's big and it's, you know, elaborate with how many LEDs, etc. So they wouldn't just want to give that up. That's why they keep using Discovery Bridge, because it's just building new bridges impractical and they don't want to burn, you know, $1 million on a new bridge when they're not going to have that many more seasons.
It also raises the question, now that Picard is, I mean, essentially an android, or an android body, is like we talked about at the end of last season. We want to see him more revitalized. We want to see him more energetic. Has he got the urge to go back to Starfleet? But would Starfleet allow him back in and give him a ship? I mean, Clancy didn't want him to have a ship, obviously, but things have changed, and that's why I think this is an alternate reality one, because I think as soon as you cross over into that, he's going to be a captain or an admiral who has a ship, and it's going to be a much different Picard than what we had seen in season 1. So that's why I think it's probably an alternate. I don't think unless somebody else is in command of it, and he's an ambassador
Well,
or an admiral or on his way somewhere
the
on it.
The only thing to keep in mind is that we see him be confused in his own house. So he doesn't appear on another ship. He gets... I mean, Q might then put him on a ship. But there's a disconnect that, like, he doesn't appear on a ship, it's very likely.
Well, he doesn't have to. He can still be captain of a ship and be on shore leave or at his
Sure,
house.
sure. Sure, I'm just picturing that cool visual as you alluded to of the shift over. I mean, it'd be fun to see him, play that role. When we saw him be the Frenchman, so maybe he's playing the evil captain on the Stargate B. I mean, he's in a military outfit in one of the other set leaks.
Yep.
And it would certainly be a massive paradigm shift from the first season lack of Starfleet. And certainly they love going dark and dramatic and gritty, and so an evil Starfleet in an alternate universe is fun in its own way. They just can't make it feel like Section 31 or Mirror Universe. Because they've literally done both of those in the last, year.
And John Chamness says, can't chat at work, but listening. Thank you, Captain and Commander. Well, thank you, John, for listening. Hopefully we're making your workday a little bit more manageable, so thank you.
Yeah.
We do notice you guys out there that are faithful followers, so thank you so much.
And you mentioned, and people jump back to Clancy. Do you think Clancy will be in this season as a payoff to then support him?
Yes, I think so, because she was supposed to be the one in charge of the fleet at the end of the season.
She was filmed. It was filmed.
Which would have been great to see her come to Picard's rescue, but then, of course, Riker's equally as great, if not better.
Yeah.
I think they could have incorporated them both, honestly, but whatever. They didn't.
Well.
So, yeah, I'd like to bring her back.
Yeah, that would have been... that'd be tricky, but yeah, that'd be fun.
There are always possibilities, as someone with pointy ears once said.
I see what you did there, Stuart.
Did you?
12?
Did you?
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, we're at 414 likes.
Ooh.
I don't want to push it to 450 because I think that's too much.
Well, I'm
I'm going to say 430. I'm going to say 430 likes.
I think you could do it. I think you could.
We probably could, but we got to make sure that the crew feels like they're capable of doing something. So 430, that's only 11 more likes now.
Now, this says to me, are you saying they can't achieve 450?
No, I just don't like pushing people too hard unless I have to. And
Wait.
sometimes...
Oh, no, that's about. Don't worry about that reference.
Sometimes I do push them hard. Other times I'm like, I want you to feel accomplished. I want you to feel good with your performance. So hit a smaller goal, and then, you did so great.
Do you have a super chat goal, Stuart? Because we're doing well, but not blowing it up well. But we could blow it up well without too much hassle.
Honestly, another $60 would be fantastic.
It would.
So if you guys have anything else you want to say super chat wise, by all means.
And actually, you know what? Let's do this, guys. Let's have that fun thing we often do. Put in the chat your review score of the ship as a super chat. Because if we get only a certain number of 5s, we'll get that goal. So put in this chat right now. Out of 10, what do you think about this? Do you have an out of 10 for a console? We didn't do this for the Franklin, or not Franklin, over the Shen. Oh, God, so many damn ship names in my brain, Stuart. Damn it. The Shenzhou. There you go. What would you give this right now? Vote into information out of 10. And guys, if you can put with $5, what do you think out of 10? Get us 15 people doing that, and we'll blast past our goals. Stuart, out of 10.
We'll see. There's some.
That's okay, Brad. That's okay.
Out of 10 for a ship that should be in Picard in the timeline, it's going to get a 6 out of 10 because it doesn't look at all like it belongs in the Prime universe. Now, for a Discovery ship, it might get a little higher. Pretty interesting. Maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Depends what criteria we're using to judge here.
Pure enjoyment factor. Pure liking. But like I said, look at the Zhenhe. Those nacelles are Zhenhe nacelles, give or take. So they aren't Discovery nacelles, And it looks like a Enterprise E saucer.
The
So-
Jen Hay looks Discovery-esque. And we know that
I
Picard
know.
happens in the Discovery universe because of the Discovery shuttles and the Discovery ships we see in Children of Mars. So it is the Discovery universe. It is not Prime.
The opinions of Stuart Foley do not represent that of Trekyards as a whole.
Yes, it does. I'm the final word.
Depends what live we're on. If it's a Stuart live, yep, he has got.
Honestly, for just my first reaction score would have been like a 7 out of 10. It's not, my favorite kind of design. So, it is what it is. How's about you?
Yeah, I'm happy to say an easy 7. It works pretty darn well. And you saw my alternate version. You can easily tweak this in some really interesting shapes. And if you include some fun negative space, and like I said, if for whatever reason only the top nacelles is connected and then the two nacelles are connected next to that could look extremely cool. And
that would be cool. I guarantee you that's not the case, though.
No, but I mean, do you want me to Photoshop that briefly? I could tweak my tweak one, to show what I'm thinking there.
If you want, sure. We got some super chats to read.
I kind of already did that, but I'll tweak it a little bit more because I think it'd be kind of fun to show what it would look like.
Eric Martin puts in $5. Thank you very much, Eric. If Hugh changes the timeline, it is possible Picard is not an android anymore.
Okay.
And that's why he seems frail and confused.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And Eugene throws in 1,500 rubles.
It is now Eugene's hour. What does Eugene say? This is the moment where he speaks.
And he says, maybe it's a temporary model. The actual model was designed after film. Anyways, the design is kind of meh. It does look like the bottom view. Maybe someone made a mistake. Wouldn't be the first time.
Very cynical opinion right there. Yeah, I mean, all fair. If this was back, because this back would have to be made before production started in theory, and the ships don't tend to be done before production starts, given their track record, then it could just be Temp 1. I mean, when we saw the turbo lifts in Discovery Season 1, they had the old version of the Shinjo in the graphics. So it's like you included a continuity mistake of your own ship in your own ship. Oops.
Yeah. I'll read some of the other non-super chat scores here while you're doing that. We got an 8 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 5, 5, 7, 4, 7, 8. Brad's Epic Gaming says the ship isn't well designed, so for me it would be a 2 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for a comic book panel, says YJ Wrangler. Was up to an 8 with the color. So there you go, Samuel. 9 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. 7, 9, 5.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Another 8 out of 10 from Zephy. Or Zevi. Sorry, Zevi.
Zevi Films.
Sure.
So this is another tweak. Well, it's not too far different, but conceptually, I think you could argue this is a possible variant of the shape. I've still got my my saucer tweaks, but I mean you have to thicken up the pylons. But that's what I was kind of picturing, just having connected to the top and then top connected to the bottom. Could look.
That's very Emmett Till though.
Yeah, but they were connected to They were connected to the main ship.
I mean, I do like the idea.
Yeah. No, now I'm looking at it. But that's the thing. He liked that design too. So.
I do like the idea, and yes, I think that would be much better than what I'm expecting it to look like, which is just like the Baran essentially, which looks like an X-wing from the front and the back. But honestly, I do like that better. But again, it's too very Emmett Tilly, which is fine probably because he probably wants to get that on screen somehow. So why not incorporate that into this new design? Still 4 nacelles, very Stargazer-like, but an update. So, but I really don't think that's the case, unfortunately.
And now you can see Emmett Till on screen. Yes, you're right. The way they connect is super odd. It's more conventional than my new approach here. But do we want the nacelles to be attached like that on this? Would that be good?
Well, there's another picture of the Emmett Till which I was thinking of, which shows it a bit better. But, I mean, anything's great. I think anything different like that would be fine. I would like to see that, actually. I think that's probably a better design than the Baran style. But Peter, guys, let us know which looks better to you. Do you think that the Baran style, it looks like an X-wing from the front and the back, is what you'd want, or something more like this with the strut with the two things coming off of it?
Or more of a conventional curve, kind of like the two strong normal pylons.
Peter Lukaku throws in $5. That can also be a rough draft. They may still change the design. They needed those chairs before filming. Absolutely, yes. It could be based on the concept art. It could just literally be a concept, one of John Eves' concept sketches thrown on there, and some refinements were made after the fact. Absolutely.
And Broken Speak says, different people producing Lower Decks. No, you says, same producers on all 3 shows. But when you have like 9 to 12 executive producers, most don't have much to do with it heavily. Different showrunners have more control than producers normally, unless they're just heavy-handed with the pay, unless they control the money as well. Like Eugene Roddenberry is a producer on all 3 shows. He's not producing any of the 3 shows. So having producers doesn't necessarily mean too much, and having them share doesn't mean too much. Clearly, Kurtzman had very little to do with Lower Decks, etc. So they're not the same teams making the 3 shows. Well, 4 shows. They're not the same filmers. They're not the same art department necessarily. They're the same visual effects company, which is kind of sad, or at least for the 3 live actions. But that's why they can use the same assets just instantly. Yeah. Guys, $15 more, and we can sort of close out, I guess. Although, I really have to pee, so back in a minute. Hopefully we'll get 15. Hopefully.
Okay, well, we hit 430 people, or 430 likes, so we're on to 450 now, like you said.
That's real.
Another 18 likes, guys.
That's real likes. Fancy.
Yeah. Eugene says, I don't like the design. It looks pretty in 2D, but translates weirdly into 3D. Neck plus nacelle hull, secondary hull, and pylons look kind of like an impossible geometry. Mike McMahon has said that he has total control over the show, and it has nothing to do with the other shows. Exactly, yeah. We hope to have Mike McMahon back on the show again with some other people that helped make changes to the Cerritos as well, guys. Been talking to Mike McMahon on Twitter, and he just wouldn't mind coming back on the show, but he doesn't want to take all the credit, so he wants to bring other people on with him. So, is the Enterprise E destroyed in Picard? Who knows? Sergeant Montgomery says that's awesome. So, gotta pretend like I'm talking so you can see my mouth moving. So, there we go. Eric Martin though throws in $10. After months of COVID, I just love to see a new ship, even if it's blurry. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Amen. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. No, and I think they learned a lot on Picard Season 1. You'd like to think so. Certainly preparation, planning, see how that affected the Star Wars sequels, the lack of planning, massive detriment. And, I mean, Discovery Season 3, planned, succeeded mostly, is good stuff, or at least better anyway. And, guys, tomorrow is Star Trek Day.
Yes.
It's extremely likely that we're going to see a new trailer. Stuart, let's put some money down. Not real money, obviously, just like...
Let's put our Latinum where our mouth is.
There we go. Only the best goal press. So let's do some... Obviously, you guys can jump in, but this is more for me and Stuart. So, Stuart, new trailer. Yes or no for Strange New Worlds?
Absolutely. Will it be a teaser trailer or a trailer, though?
Full trailer, which bucks the trend, but I think full trailer because they have the footage finally. Or very long teaser trailer that doesn't tell you anything, but shows you everything. But long trailer, I think.
Okay.
Yes, you agree?
I'm hoping for a trailer, but I'm expecting a teaser. So.
Okay. Yep. I'm writing this down.
9 more likes, guys.
Okay. Now, do you think there'll be any behind-the-scenes interview-style fluff piece, look at the sets, answer out saying, "This is the Trek you've always wanted, back to exploration," like a real like an interview piece where they're all revealing the costumes and you're going to see the new cast members and you see an alien, or is it just on-screen thing?
It might be too soon for that, so I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes, just because they've finished filming, so they had all the set time.
Maybe,
Unlike other times they had Zoom only. They had time. And I feel like the mouthpieces of a lot of Season 2 Discovery were Anson Mount and Ethan Peck. So them being super positive again on camera will give a lot of people vibes. Because that's what they want, is the Anson Mount love to give people cool vibes. And so him just gushing in a new costume with a green screen set or a physical set on the bridge, that's, I think, worth having, and they can show behind the scenes. So I think
yes, you're saying yes, I'm saying no to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a Star Trek Prodigy release date, finally.
I'm gonna go as far as to say we're gonna have a trailer as well.
Another new trailer. Ooh.
Well, that was a teaser last time. They haven't tried it yet.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I would agree. That would be awesome.
A story. Well, but that's the thing though. So, okay, they'll have a trailer for Prodigy, a full story one. If Strange Worlds is a teaser, that's how they tend to do that. Because they had a Lower Decks trailer last time and a Prodigy teaser. But I want the Strange Worlds trailer because we're really hyping ourselves up for this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say trailer, yes. You can say no, but just about. You say release date. But
yes.
Release date.
As for Picard season 2, that's where you're gonna get the fluff piece talking about. Oh, it's so fun to be back with the crew, with the cast and crew, and we had such a great time. We're going into season 3. Ooh.
And we'll analyze little frames of the art department and.
Yeah. Well, for I think we might get a teaser. Oh, we've already got some teasers for Picard season 2 though. All right, I'll say a trailer. I'll say a trailer for season 2 of it.
And that would be a hell of a drop. Stranger Worlds and Picard. But you want press. Those are the two people want. Okay. Trailer. Stuart says trailer and fluff piece.
We're going to get an announcement officially of the Section 31 show.
I think... Well, hold on. Picard. I think we're going to get a scene from Picard. I think we're going to get the scene where Picard meets Q. And that, minute and a half scene where we get to see the acting, we get a sense of, where am I, Q? You're in your house. This isn't my house. This isn't my knife. Well, mon capitan, this is a what could have been. Like that sort of meta talk about the scene. And then at the end, you'll see a 5 to 10 second visual effects reel where we see the new ship, maybe.
I just expect Picard to be like, Jesus Christ, Q, again? We did this with Tapestry.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, yeah.
Sorry.
But these are things I would do as a marketing person. What could you be creative with? Scene plus. I think we are going to see the ship though. I think that, or at least we're going to see the Enterprise, like a full sexy thing of the Enterprise, like a poster or something with it. Well, that's another question. Stranger Worlds. Are we going to see a almost fully Prime looking Connie? Are we going to see a new improved Prime-ier Connie? Is that going to be part of the marketing? Here is the new Enterprise, mic drop. It just looks like a properly, classically updated Enterprise.
No, I have no faith in that, but I hope for that, but I have no faith in that, so no. Absolutely.
But is that the Enterprise at all? Are we going to see a hero Enterprise moment, poster, trailer, shot? Is it going to fit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Marco Van Osh, though, throws in €1, so now it's the last super chat slot, guys. We hit 450 likes. That's awesome. I have no other goals for you guys unless you want to hit 475. That's an unofficial goal. But yeah, that's now right now. Marco has the last super chat slot, so anybody want to snipe it from him, by all means, go ahead. But yeah, let us know your thoughts, what we're going to see tomorrow as well, guys.
And I'm going to say new Enterprise reveal, yes. I think they're going to have Basards that feel more TOS. And plating that feels more TOS, but everything else will be Discovery. But those two things by themselves should be enough to kind of tip the balance, I think.
Straight nacelle or straight
No,
shots
no.
are angled.
No, they like him too
They're gonna
much.
be angled. Yeah.
Well, even if they change him, the VFX department will change him back. Johnny was like, again, team! Again! Yeah. And anything from Lower Decks?
No.
I don't know if there's a panel or anything. Because the last time they did reveal this next half season, it's like, but that's like 2 weeks away. Why are you trailing Why are you giving away the Q reveal 2 weeks from now? It seems a bit odd.
Broken Speaker says, I know what I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Trekyards talking about what happened.
Oh. He's fishing for promotion. That's what I think.
Yeah. Dad's computer says, I'm wagering that they will not be changing Enterprise at all. Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, they've sold all the uniforms and props from Discovery of that era. So they're making new stuff, and they get to sell in the Ugamos model.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting brief thing question. Who is excited for Trekyards discussion tomorrow? We'll be self-congratulatory for a second. Who's excited? Oh.
Depending what we have to talk about, maybe me.
The chat crickets.
It depends whether we're going to come in like, guys, this is awesome stuff. Or, yeah, so we got some news. It's bad news, but here we go.
Or Starship Las Vegas style news where the news is...
There was no news. Crickets. Cue the crickets.
Boy, that was disappointing live we did. We're so freaking hyped up. Anything could happen.
And nothing did.
Nothing happened. Except I got to talk to my man in a sense, which was great, but still.
Speaking of, ironic that you say that, I just got a message from him on Twitter.
Oh. You can send that to me now so I can have a gleeful chuckle. Guys, are you excited?
He says...
Oh, okay.
He says to me, you know when we're going to have a lot to talk about at the end of the season. Remind my assistant when the season is over, and we'll make it happen. I got his assistant's email address, and it says her name is May. So there you go.
Oh,
damn.
damn.
That just came in live right now on Twitter. So.
Well, that's... Can we get a super chat for Mike McMahon being awesome?
So he wants to come back on Trekyards at the end of the season, because we'll have a lot more to talk about, which gets me excited. So... exclusive right there for you guys. That's your first Star Trek Day bit of awesomeness right there, that Mike McMahon's going to be back on Trekyards. Oh, everybody's like, oh.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. Very exciting.
Broken Speaker puts in $2. Even if it's background noise, you know I'll listen. Oh, thanks, Broken Speaker.
Yeah.
Stuart, are you going to do a live tomorrow night for Star Trek Day? That's a good question. I don't know. Depends on the news, I guess.
Maybe you should do an after hours where you drink. Just chill out and...
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Because that could be... Because it definitely is a case of... It'll take time to settle in. And just those, 4 or 5 hours between our live and that might, change how you think about things. Thanks, Aaron. Have a good one. 461 likes, guys. You guys are awesome. Broken Speaker right now is the last super chat slot, so if anybody wants to scoop that, by all means. But we are excited that Mike McMahon is talking to us directly. He wants to be back on the show with some other people because he doesn't want to take all the credit. He doesn't want to steal anybody's thunder. So that should be an interesting discussion. And other than that, I mean, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's news, and we got a lot of great stuff. We got the last half of season 2 of Lower Decks coming up. We got Prodigy probably next. So we are super stoked. We got a lot of it's a great time to be a Trek fan, and it's even better time to be a Trek web series that loves Trek and loves talking all things Trek. So that's us. All right. Broken Speaker, last super chat slot. Although interesting, Mr. Jericho says, so is the live at 1:30 a.m. tomorrow? Is that when the panel is? Guys, when's the panel tomorrow? because that would suck. Otherwise, we've got to do both a Lower Decks review and a Picard Day review on Friday, and all the filming on Friday.
Or we just do the Star Trek Day stuff
I know.
live on weekend or maybe Monday. If you can hold off till then, who knows? We'll see.
Goodness.
See how it works out. But Squadra Course snipes in with $1 for the last super chat slot.
Yeah, do you have a schedule, guys? So that is very late. That would be like late in the afternoon in your time.
Yeah, Trek Culture says, yeah, it's late night UK time. Trek Culture's here. Hey, Trek Culture, how's it going?
Oh.
Good to see you guys.
Hey, guys.
Might hold off on our lower decks up and downs till Friday. Yeah, we might have to do similar things with our lives and stuff, depending.
8:30 EDT. Which is EDT.
Don't know.
1:30. God damn it. And it starts then. So yeah, we're not doing live then. Fuck that. I mean, because I got to be up at 1:30 just to watch the damn thing. I mean, maybe a first reaction, but then I'll be up. But I guess of all the days to be up, it's that day.
Well, I might just hop on right afterwards and talk about it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, guys.
God damn. Well, it means I'm doing other work all day, I guess, because obviously I can't do graphics that day. But to be fair, though, it just means I'll do Lower Decks as normal. Prep that shit. Oh, God.
Matt Boardman, $2. Pew, pew, snipe, snipe.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you, Matt. All right, guys. Don't be discouraged by his off-put-ishness. We'll be fine. We'll have Trekyards news from us all weekend, and all next week will be live time. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I'm not worried, but actually...
You're worried.
No, it's just I want to enjoy it, but I'll be morning. So Trek Culture knows the pain. But I do have the list of panels to tell us... we've got a few minutes left to sort of discuss. You've got the introduction panel with the music composer of Discovery. Then you've got Will Wheaton and Mika Burton doing a hello everyone. Then you've got the Starship Prodigy cast and crew panel. Then you've got Sirach Lofton, as in Jake Sisko, doing a DS9 panel talking about the legacy of DS9. You've got Star Discovery, a panel with the writers and some cast members. You've got Anthony Montgomery talking about Enterprise and the legacy of Enterprise.
We didn't get speculate on that. We're going to get a teaser for Discovery as well.
I think we will, yes.
Yeah.
Or at least some new pictures, or like a reveal of a new villain, because they can't throw everything on. They've been good actually at passing out some things. Then you've got Strange New Worlds, cast and crew. You've got Legacy Moments of the Voyager with Garrett Wang. You've got Lower Decks with the head writer and some cast members. You've got the original series with George Takei. Cool. You've got Roddenberry's Legacy with Rod Roddenberry, Gates McFadden, LeVar Burton, and George Takei. Legacy of TNG. VAR swaps from his panel to his next panel. And then Starship Picard at the end of the session, 2.5 hours later, with the cast and crew, including Patrick Stewart. I'm assuming they're all pre-recorded, so they will be ending and starting at the right time. Right.
There you go. We'll see how it goes, guys. But Sergeant Montgomery, $2. First question, Mike. What's up with the nav lights? It'll be on that list, probably. Yes. Anyway, guys, 470 likes is awesome, and that's a good way to end this stream. I mean, you guys have been fantastic, and we look forward to many more cool lives and stuff with you guys coming up.
Yes, it's very much. It's going to be a. And talk about it.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, until then, right now I'm going to call Sergeant Montgomery. It's the last Super Chat slot, and we'll see you guys in the future. I'll probably do a live tomorrow night at some point talking about stuff. We'll see. Just keep your eyes open to all the regular places. Make sure you're subscribed here, notified as well, and keep checking the Facebook group, because that's where we share this stuff. So
Exactly.
So until then, he's Commander Cockings.
He's got a Foley. We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.